the ball, are you?
In a word.
Don't worry. I've got nothing to hide. I'll prove to you that I'm not cheating. I'll use any suitable item that you give me. It shouldn't be too big, and it has to fit under the cups. So, what should we play with?
How about this gold ball here?
No problem. We'll play with that. But that will double the opening bet. Each of us will put in 50 francs.
Okay.
Then let's get started. So, which cup is hiding your golden ball? If you guess right, you win 100 francs.
The detector isn't showing anything. Guess the ball's not under there. God bless modern science. The gold detector lit up, so the gold ball must be under the right cup. If the detector's working, the gold ball must be under this cup. All right then, the ball is definitely under the right cup.
So it is. We have a winner.
Must be my lucky day.
You can say that again. Here are your 100 francs. How about a rematch?
Why not? Seems like I'm on a real lucky streak right now.
Excellent. We'll double the ante again. That means that each of us will wager 100 francs. If you guess correctly again, the 200 francs will be yours. Otherwise, I will be the lucky one. Okay?
Okay. It's a lot of money, but I feel unbeatable today.
All right then. I'll set the ball in the middle again.
Fine by me. Feel free to make it a little harder this time.
Now, where is the golden ball?
Negative. No reaction. Got it. The light on the detector lit up. Left cup. I'm 100% sure.
Are you really sure? I mean, we're talking about a lot of money here.
You can't make me change my mind. Left cup, I said.
Whatever you say. Damn, you got lucky again.
Unbelievable, eh?
Here are your 200 francs. I've had enough for today. My wives will kill me when they see my till.
Don't want another rematch?
Nope, not today. Your lucky streak will ruin me.
Well, no hard feelings. I'll get out of here.
Yes. I suppose I don't need to wish you good luck.
I finally got the bail money. Listen.
Oui?
I've got Professor Hayes' bail money.
All of it?
Yes. 200 francs.
Very well. Then Monsieur Hayes is free to go. Come on, Hayes. You've made bail. Au revoir.
Are you okay?
Yes, thank you. Let's go. We have a lot to discuss. I'm terribly sorry for our less than civil surroundings. As long as dear Monsieur Lacoste is at my shop, it's a far from suitable venue for discreet conversation. At any rate, please make yourself comfortable. This tale is not a short one, but I'm certain it will be an interesting one.
That may be, Professor. Just bear in mind it's a long time since my last lecture. I need to find my friend. End of story.
I'm well aware of that, but if you ever hope to find your friend, you will need to know what you are searching for, and what may await you at the end of that search.
It's a new approach to me, but I suppose it couldn't hurt.
My academic research focused primarily on Tibet. I've been fascinated with its religion, its secrets, and its legends ever since I was a young man. I became something of an expert. I held a professorship, and sometimes I even received funding to lead expeditions. The last of these expeditions was with your friend, Yen Wang. As you know, we found a dead monk, pieces of a map, and a gemstone.
The Eye of the Dragon.
Exactly. The remains of the map held clues to a mythologized monastery in the Kembalung Valley. This hidden valley was said to contain the entrance to the legendary Shambhala. At that time, however, I only knew that the Buddhists believed Shambhala to be a kingdom where a dynasty of enlightened kings safeguard the most secret teachings of Buddhism. Of course, I always assumed that Shambhala was a religious myth, but the idea that this place could really exist, it was an exciting prospect. The chance for a truly sensational discovery. Unfortunately, the early onset of winter upset our plans, and we had to give up. I was never able to return to that search. Regardless, I compiled all the knowledge that existed on Shambhala. I studied all the available sources, retranslated old texts. The result was a picture of a mysterious place of indescribable power.
Can you describe it?
An ancient place. And it's not just important to Buddhism. Other religions and cultures also have ties to this location. There, my friend, is where all questions and answers have their origin. So that I may perceive whatever holds the world together in its inmost folds.
I'm not a big one for riddles, Professor. Could you be a little more concrete? I don't need enlightening, I just need my friend's whereabouts.
You may yet find both.
When do we get around to how?
How? By finding Shambhala, of course.
I'm not supposed to understand any of this, am I?
You want me to be concrete? Here's a very concrete story. It is the result of many years of research. About 10,000 years ago, a tribe of hunters and herdsmen discovered a colossal system of caves in the Himalayas. While they were there, their intellectual capacities suddenly grew exponentially. The technical advancements that resulted from this growth allowed them to settle in the caves. The people knew that this must be a very special place. At its center, they could feel a strong energy that seemed to be responsible for their rapid development. For these people, this energy proved to be a gift from the gods. They used this gift to build gigantic underground temple complexes. Within a few generations, a prosperous culture was flourishing. Science, art, and architecture were at a level far beyond what we know today. The people developed both a complex language and the first complete writing system. The energy itself, in combination with the rapid tempo of medical advancement, allowed the people to live to an extremely old age. Illness practically ceased to exist.
And these caves are supposed to be Shambhala?
Yes, I am thoroughly convinced that this is the case. However, you can certainly call it something else if you prefer a different name.
I don't know. Even without the dragon, it all still sounds like a fairy tale.
Well, the dragon... I personally believe that the dragon is merely a symbol, because the story continues.
Go on, then.
Something must have happened, because Shambhala was abandoned. I don't know the exact reason why, but what could have caused the people to leave this wonderful place, apart from a true catastrophe?
You mean they got attacked by dragons?
In a way. The dragon seems to be a metaphor for this sudden catastrophe. I can only speculate on the exact nature of this event. However, I believe it has some connection to the energy of the place.
Okay, so they abandoned Shambhala, but why is the entrance still locked up?
Only a few people survived the catastrophe, and they certainly had good reasons for keeping their knowledge of Shambhala a secret. They trained a sworn caste of priests who passed on this knowledge from generation to generation, and who continue to do so today.
Actually, I think the Nazis killed them all.
But there would be more. The caste of priests established 2 monasteries, far from any other settlements, in which to safeguard the secret. The first monastery was built directly over the only entrance to Shambhala.
In the Kembalung Valley?
Most of the priests stayed in this valley, along with one of the 2 artifacts that can open the entrance.
So you really believe that this secret chamber somehow leads to Shambhala? But that would mean that Richard is already...
Indeed.
But if he's there, can he still be alive? I mean, the dragon metaphor thing.
There's only one way to find out.
We need the second artifact, which is in the other monastery, right?
We can only assume so. The second group of priests hiked over the peaks of the Himalayas, the so-called Lost Horizon, until they reached the region that is part of India today. They hid the other key there, in a temple complex. Unfortunately, I never found out exactly where this temple complex is located.
But we have the Eye of the Dragon, and the engravings in the monastery say it'll reveal the location of the second key.
Only if we have the Keeper's map. And, alas, this is something I've long searched for. The only clues I've found refer to a remarkable map drawn up in 1513 by an Ottoman admiral named Piri Reis. For example, this map depicts the ice-free perimeters of the Antarctic. As you know, that continent was first officially discovered in 1820, more than 300 years later. So how could Piri Reis have known back then how the Antarctic continent looked without ice? The admiral, who had a talent for languages, made handwritten notes on the map. According to these notes, he used sources from many thousands of years ago when creating the map. He came across these sources during a trip through the Far East. Unfortunately, only a small fragment of the map still exists today.
And the Nazis have got it.
What?
When you said the Admiral's name, so-and-so Reis, I've heard that name.
Piri Reis?
The German expedition leader, the Countess. She was talking about a map in a Berlin museum, and she mentioned that name. Piri Reis.
My word. Sensational.
It's a chance at any rate. If we can get to the map before the Nazis do...
You want to go to Berlin?
We don't have a choice. It's the only way we can get at the map.
Quite apart from getting into the country at all, the map itself certainly won't be laid out in a display case. How do you expect this to work?
The Olympic Games are on. We just need to look like tourists. Besides, it's a lot more fun if you just worry about these things later. Let's get the eye and get out of here.
If you say so. Lacoste must be finished by now. Let's go. Please wait a moment. The Eye of the Dragon is hidden in the back room. Here it is. See? Perfect condition, just like the day we found it.
Great. No time to lose. Let's get the next train to Casablanca, then get on a ship to Spain or Portugal. The further from the Nazis, the better.
It sounds as if you're no stranger to running from problems, young man. You remind me of myself a few dozen years ago.
Professor, get down!
Leave him. We have the eye.
Professor.
They've taken it.
Don't get up. I'll get help.
Don't be a fool. You must follow them before they escape.
You need a doctor.
No! Listen carefully. If you are found on the crime scene, you will be arrested. You cannot help me anymore, my boy. But help yourself and the others recover the Eye of the Dragon. Now it's up to you. You alone, to prevent the Nazis reaching Shambhala.
Excuse me, sir. A telegram just arrived for you.
Thank you, Huxley. Anything else?
No, sir. I just wondered...
I don't need anything else at the moment. You may go.
German ambush in monastery. Stop. Richard's still there. Stop. Paddock to the rescue. Stop. Now in India. Stop. Send reinforcements. Stop. Waiting at Camp Hadley in Rangpur, North India. Stop. Signed Lieutenant Thomas Finch. Stop.
The Countess and her cronies disappeared into that building. That must be where she plans to examine the map. What a coincidence. That's my plan as well. Posters and flyers plastered on several layers deep. This camera ad's coming loose. I've pulled it down. The Nazis disappeared into this museum. What's that? There's something shiny under that grate. I love shiny things. It's only about 8 inches down, but I can't fit my hand through. Red ropes over the entrance. Not a good start.
Can I help you?
Yes, if you could just tell me how to get into the museum.
Sorry, the exhibit's closed earlier than usual today.
Why is the museum closed today? I've traveled a long way just to see the exhibits.
Well, during the Olympic Games, sometimes the regular schedule gets a little out of whack, you know? There's a reception for today's gold medalists in the upper exhibition halls later tonight. Which is going to mean unpaid overtime for me, of course. Anyway, that's why we closed early.
How very frustrating.
Not much of a sports fan?
I'm mainly here for the museum, but the games have certainly proved a happy coincidence.
I'm hoping I'll get to see some of my idols in the flesh tonight, depending on who takes the gold medals.
What do they actually exhibit here?
The main exhibit is on Tibet. You see that animal by the door? It's some sort of enormous mountain sheep that lives in the Himalayas, but I've forgotten the name. Begins with a P or an M.
It's an argali.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
In any case, there are all kinds of rare Tibetan artifacts on display in the upper halls. Do you think you could give me a hand and set this carton down for me? Thanks.
You keep talking about the upper halls. Are there others?
Well, yes, the lower halls. But they've been closed to visitors for over a year.
Why's that?
I couldn't tell you.
And is there a reason you couldn't tell me?
Easy. I don't know. I'm not sure I want to either.
Well, now you've gone and got my attention.
Curiosity can be very bad for your health, you know. All I know is that for some time no one has been allowed into the basement of the museum, and the lower exhibition halls were closed to prevent any visitors from accidentally wandering down there. Can we leave it now?
Sure. Which events are happening tonight?
For my money, the decathlon has got to be the highlight, but there's also rowing and horseback riding. Hold on, I have an event schedule in my newspaper. I don't need it anymore, you can have it.
Oh, thanks very much. You know that reception tonight? How exactly do I get into it?
Oh, just go out and get yourself a gold medal. No problem. No, seriously, aside from the medal winners and their trainers, you basically need to be a German politician. People like us are out in the cold, I'm afraid.
We'll see about that. Not much I can do then, I suppose. I wonder if I can find another way to get into tonight's reception.
As I said, only gold medal winners, their trainers, and a handful of special guests are permitted in the museum tonight. Believe me.
All right then. Would you mind if I took a look around your very exciting foyer for a while?
No problem. As long as you don't get in the way.
Promise. I'll ask first. Please don't ask me why, but can I have some of the stuff in this box?
You're asking me if you can just take my stuff for no reason whatsoever? I thought the British were supposed to be polite. Well, as it happens, that box is full of crap, so go right ahead.
Sandpaper. An old marigold. Let's see which contests are scheduled for today. The final event in the decathlon is happening shortly. In the run-up to the long jump, the man in the lead is... No, this can't be right. Glenn Parker of the United Kingdom? There's even a photo. No doubt about it. That's the same Glenn Parker who went to Sandhurst with Richard and me. Even back then, he was a top-class athlete. Fantastic! This is my chance to get into the museum reception. I'll just ask Glenn to smuggle me in. Maybe he can pass me off as his trainer. I should head straight to the stadium. He must be getting warmed up. Okay, let's find Glenn. He's probably in the locker room.
I'm afraid this is the locker room, friend. You probably shouldn't be in here.
Glenn, it's me, Fenton. Fenton Paddock.
Fenton? Nice beard. What are you doing here?
I'm here saving the world. It's not a real beard. But look, I heard you were top billing for the decathlon. I need to talk to you.
How did you even get in here?
That's a rather adventurous story. And I figured I'd find you here, Not that it was easy getting in. Hello.
Hello.
Is this the press entrance?
Yes, it is. May I see your credentials, please?
Credentials?
The only people permitted access are the athletes, their trainers, official IOC employees, and press photographers. Do any of those apply to you?
Sure. Why not? I'm actually with the press.
Then show me your press pass.
Would you believe I've temporarily misplaced it?
Not really. If you've really lost your pass, go to the IOC accreditation office and claim a new one.
But the events are about to start. I can't miss them.
Then you'd better hurry. The IOC office is located at Pariserplatz.
Okay. I'll be back.
And don't forget your camera. Only photographers are allowed to enter the contest area. Journalists should go to the main gate.
Got it. Thanks. Well, I guess I'm heading to the IOC office at Pariserplatz to get myself a press pass. Ah, Pariserplatz. And that seems to be the IOC office. Oh, good. It's closed. Hello? Anyone home? Damn it. Now what am I supposed to do?
Excuse me?
Yes?
Well, I'm sorry, but it was hard to miss hearing you vent your frustration at the accreditation office. Could you be both a fellow journalist and a fellow countryman?
What gave you that idea?
Only a true Brit would curse like that. I'm from the island too, and who else but a journalist would need to get into the IOC office? It's been closed since 4 p.m., by the way.
Ah,
My name is Edison, Baltus Edison. I work for the Tribune in London.
Edison. Like the famous inventor.
Yes, quite. You're the first person ever to notice that, in fact.
Really? Because I would have thought quite a lot of people would have... Oh, you're joking. My name's Paddock. I'm a foreign affairs correspondent in Hong Kong.
Ah, how lovely. My work has never taken me to our crown colonies, but I'm sure things are much more interesting there than here at the Olympic Games, eh?
How do you mean?
Well, to be honest, I hate sports. I write for the arts and entertainment section, actually. But our editor-in-chief sent all available reporters here to cover the games, so we'd have an exclusive report on every event, including the dull ones. And what are you writing about?
I'm a freelancer. I'm, looking for stories off the beaten track, away from the big events.
Lucky you. I'd love to trade places. You know, I'm working on a big story back home. I'm nearly ready to expose the romantic escapades of a certain member of the royal family. My research is nearly complete. If I could get back and finish, I'd have enough material to drop this bombshell on the public. But instead, I'm here, squandering my precious time on stories about Olympic handball.
Yeah, excuse me, gentlemen. Mr. Edison, there's a call for you from London.
Probably my department head, wanting to know what's holding up my article on yesterday's events. Best not to tell him it was a bottle of scotch, eh? Please relay the following message, word for word. Mr. Edison is currently indisposed and will personally report to the editor-in-chief. He would appreciate it if everyone else would leave him in peace.
I will pass your message along, sir.
Thank you. I won't last much longer in this job, I tell you, but I bored you quite enough.
Not at all. Actually, I have one more question about the IOC.
Yes?
Any chance of it opening again today?
What do you think?
Not a chance in hell. Well, look, I've got to get going. I'm sure you'd like to read your paper in peace.
Not really. Our valued colleagues rarely have anything amusing to print. In any event, I enjoyed chatting with you.
Likewise. Perhaps I'll see you later. Edison's jacket. He left his glasses and his press pass in the breast pocket. I could really use that press pass in his jacket. It'd get me into the stadium to see Glenn. I guess I should ask him first. Baltus Edison, an English journalist. He's a sports journalist who hates sports. Excuse me, Mr. Edison. May I bother you for a moment?
You would only be bothering me if I were actually enjoying this newspaper, which, to be perfectly frank, I am not. How can I help you?
I noticed the press pass in your jacket, and I was wondering if you might be willing to lend it to me. Just for tonight, so I can get into the stadium to watch the event.
I'm afraid I can't. I have to go and watch an event myself. And besides, my press pass lets me use the public transport for free.
But you see, it's very important that I get into the stadium tonight.
Look, my friend, we're just talking about sports here. You shouldn't take it so seriously. Tomorrow is another day, after all. You can get a press pass in the morning and start reporting right away.
Okay, I understand. My apologies.
No harm done.
The future does not bode well for that child's teeth. Or figure. He's sucking on a huge lollipop. What do we have here?
Oh, what's the matter, sweetheart? Don't cry. You know how it troubles Mummy's nerves. Mummy just wants to enjoy a bite to eat in peace. She gets very cross when she's hungry.
Either I look a fright today, or that kid is just jumpy. The poor thing nearly spat out his lolly. Good thing he didn't. I'd rather not get into trouble with a mother of that stature. Hey, it's a life choice. She just likes food. I could teach her a thing or two about proper nutrition, but I doubt she'd be interested. The Office of the International Olympic Committee, or IOC for short.
Careful! Do not touch my camera!
Don't worry, I had no intention of touching anything.
I spent a great many hours painstakingly setting up that camera, and it would be a catastrophe if you were to move it by so much as a hair.
Please forgive my curiosity. Allow me to introduce myself. Fenton Paddock.
A pleasure. Count Otto von Droste-Schattenburg.
A count with a camera, eh? Wouldn't say, an adding machine be a more appropriate device?
Please. I would be much obliged if you would not trivialize our conversation with such banal wordplay. I am a renowned photographer from Vienna. Have you never heard of me?
To be honest, no, I haven't. But maybe that's because I live in Hong Kong.
My work has also been exhibited in Hong Kong, sir.
Oh. Oh! That Count Otto van Dross Schattenberger. What are you taking pictures of?
I'm shooting images for my latest photographic series, Berlin and the Olympic Games. This work will be subtitled The Forgotten Landmarks. I intend to capture locations that are not currently the main focus of public interest.
I see.
Unfortunately, artistic freedom is becoming a thing of the past in Berlin. Photography is often banned in public squares or even in entire districts. This does not make my work any easier.
What's the deal with these photography bans?
Oh, political reasons. The government officials here believe there are certain parts of the city that may be unrepresentative of the capital's overall charm.
But the Brandenburg Gate's okay, right?
That's correct. The gate is to be the central focus of my latest project. A photography ban here would mean all my months of preparation were for naught. Several galleries have already booked the exhibit in advance. No, a ban here would be absolutely outrageous. But then, the Count von Droste-Schattenburg isn't just anybody. Even here I have friends in high places. Why, I would go straight to the magistrate and make my mind known.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Your camera looks very professional.
Of course it does. It is the most advanced model available on the market today. It has a new setting that I use for experimental photography. I take multiple exposures of the same image at regular intervals. This allows me to capture different phases of my subject and depict them in a single photograph.
Ah, I see. So the position of the camera mustn't change at all while you're taking a picture, right?
I see that you know something about the fine art of photography.
Just an interested layman. Well, I don't want to keep you from your work any longer.
Thank you.
I definitely think these contain helium, you know.
Let's inflate the little bugger. Great. That is the ugliest thing I have ever clapped eyes on. And Sandhurst had communal showers. Excuse me, may I interrupt for a moment?
Oh, hello. Do I really look all that busy?
Well, now that you mention it, no. Is your whatever that thing is broken?
No, I just don't feel like playing.
Why not?
An artist needs an audience, attention, applause, and of course, earning a few pennies doesn't hurt either.
Well, I can listen, but I'm afraid I'm completely broke.
That's all right.
The potential audience in this part of the stadium is pretty limited. Why exactly did you pick this location?
Unfortunately, it was assigned to me. We have the odd athlete and journalist pass by, but it's been a slow pitch. I wanted to set up over at the main entrance, but I wasn't allowed.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm going to go have a look around the city.
Have fun.
A rubbish bin. Let's see if I can find anything useful. Oh, the lid came off. I'll just pocket that, I think. Jackpot. There's all sorts of valuable rubbish in here. A dried bouquet of flowers wrapped with florist wire. I'll unwrap the wire. Yes, well, that makes for the ugliest looking balloon animal I've ever set my eyes on. A broken bottleneck. Hardly the gentleman's choice of armament, but that's never been an issue before. So, we meet again, Argali. Are you taunting me? Is that it? Following me around and popping up at my lowest moments? Bad, Argali. Bad. I don't remember the last one having such a luxurious beard. If I'd been given a terrifying balloon animal made from an old rubber glove when I was a kid, I would have considered myself lucky. I'm, Yes, I'm going to run away now.
Ugh, what is this? Where did this foul-looking thing come from? Here, my little honey bun. Here's a nice new lolly for you.
Another of my attempts to educate the public bites the dust. A lolly. Sweet, sticky, bad for your teeth. I should stick to booze. I haven't got any German coins. Come to think of it, I haven't got any money at all. A clean napkin. Who spilled the ketchup? Come on, own up. My mother taught me not to eat with my fingers. This napkin is mine. All mine. A napkin printed with the name of the cafe. Erica. A bit of tidiness never hurt anyone. Apart from that one time I tried to clean the office and broke my collarbone. Long story. The napkin is printed with the name of the cafe, Erica. It's smeared with ketchup. The only interesting things about this door are its large, round handles. And even they're struggling to get my heart racing. So, now the worn doorknob is completely red again. I'm a stickler for the little details. If I press the poster against the doorknob, it produces an interesting new symbol on my poster. I'll rub the lolly on the back of the poster so I can hang it up somewhere. This guy owes me a favor. The least he can do is spare me some whiskers. Okay, let's see if this works. Hello, Count.
Oh, you again.
Count, terrible, terrible news. I just discovered there's a photography ban throughout Parisaplatz.
What are you saying? Where is that written?
Follow me, I'll show you. You see? Up there.
Unbelievable! Outrageous! I am furious! Young man, you must look after my camera while I resolve this issue. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Count. The Count's camera, resting on a sturdy tripod. The ends justify the means. I hope. might just be long enough. Hopefully it'll stick. Ah, a Reichsmark coin. Can't help but think I could have spent all this time busking and made more money. But hey, it's something for nothing. Sort of. A Reichsmark coin. Always time for a quick natter.
Berlin Telephone Exchange, how may I direct your call?
If I can lure Edison into the cafe, maybe I can borrow his press pass. All right, I'll try my luck.
Connect me to Cafe Erica at Pariserplatz, please.
One moment, please.
This is Cafe Erica. How may I help you?
Do you have a customer there by the name of Edison, Baltus Edison?
Yes, Mr. Edison is just outside. Whom shall I say is calling?
This is his editor-in-chief in London speaking. Please tell him that it's urgent. He needs to come back right away. It's about juicy goings-on at Buckingham Palace.
I will relay your message, sir. One moment, please. Mr. Edison, there's another call for you.
Who is it now?
Your editor-in-chief in London. He has an urgent assignment for you concerning the British royal family.
Finally! My prayers have been answered. Where is the telephone?
Follow me, please.
Perfect. This may not be a gentlemanly thing to do, but then, when has that ever bothered me? Edison might lose a job he hates. He might have to pay for the bus. But at least he won't have to live in a world ruled by super-powered Nazis. I'd say it's more than a fair trade.
I'm very sorry, sir. We do have occasional connection problems.
Not a problem. I'll go to the hotel and try to contact him from there. See you.
Goodbye, sir.
So, I got a press pass, and I look a little bit like the man in the photo. Apart from, you know, the glasses, and the hat. The goatee too, I suppose. Similar is... Edison's press pass. We're not too dissimilar. But the photo shows him sporting a goatee, glasses, and a hat. That hat would make me look a lot more like Edison. This hat might make me look a bit more like Edison on his press pass, but I think my kleptomaniacal urges have been sated for one day. Hey, it's a real condition. Hello, it's me again.
Hi there. Don't worry, you haven't missed much.
By the way, I really like your hat.
Really? I hardly ever wear it. I just use it to collect money.
It doesn't really seem to be fulfilling its purpose, does it?
And you're saying that's the hat's fault?
It looks a bit greasy. Maybe that's putting your customers off.
You might be right. It really doesn't look very clean, does it?
If you give me your hat, I'll give you something even better in return.
A connoisseur of old greasy heads, are you? Okay, if you can give me something good to replace it, you can have the head.
Wouldn't this metal bowl be better for collecting money?
Yes, I suppose it would. Although it's a bit rusty, isn't it?
You might have a point there. I'll think of something. Well, I'm going to go have a look around the city.
Have fun.
Rust-free. I've got this polished metal bowl that absolutely isn't a rubbish bin lid. Wouldn't it be better for collecting money than your old hat?
Let me see that. Yes, this is good. It's sturdy and it looks a damn sight better than my old hat.
So, you want to trade?
Gladly. Here, take the thing.
Thanks. Only photographers, athletes, and trainers are allowed to use this entrance. I've got everything I need, apart from so much as a sliver of plausibility that I might pass for Edison. It's me again. I can already tell you're excited by that.
I'll be excited if you have your press pass.
See you later.
See you.
I've clumped the whiskers together. Okay, I've got everything I need. Press pass, camera, hat, glasses, and the pièce de résistance, of course. The Argali beard. Time to get suited and booted. But other than that, it was easy. I got past the guard, found the locker room, and here I am.
Well, that's a lovely story, Fenton. But why?
Look, we don't have much time, so I'll get straight to the point. I read that you're leading the decathlon, and you're just about to complete the last event.
The long jump?
Well, if you win the gold medal, you'll be invited to the reception after the contest. The museum where the reception is taking place is closed due to the event. No visitors allowed. I need to get in there and look around as soon as possible.
I hate to repeat myself, but...
Why, right? I know. I've asked myself the same thing a couple of dozen times. Do you remember Richard Weston?
Of course! You two helped me pass that test, remember? What about him?
He disappeared, and his trail leads to the museum. Well, the story's much longer than that, but for now I have to ask you to trust me. So, can you smuggle me in?
Absolutely. I couldn't leave an old Sandhurst chum in a bind, now could I?
Thanks, Glenn. I owe you one.
Of course, you are assuming one vital thing. That I win. Frankly, I've still got a slight lead, but the long jump just isn't my forte. That Erwin Huber in second place will likely pull past me at the last minute. He's the better jumper by far. He's beaten me every time this year.
So your lead won't be enough to secure the gold?
I doubt it. Huber always manages about 25 centimetres more than I do. If he's up to his usual standard today, and I don't manage the jump of my life, then those 25 centimetres will be enough for him to take the lead.
I see. I suppose I'll just have to cross my fingers.
Why don't you introduce yourself to Huber? You could be his date for the reception.
He's probably not my type.
And I am?
Beggars can't be choosers.
Very funny. Look, I'll give it my best shot. We'll just have to hope it's enough. Look at the time. I have to get moving. I'll see you after the jump. Well, Fenton, I've got to head out to the contest. I'm already running late.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to me. Good luck.
Thanks. I'll need it.
Unfortunately, he's right. Ordinarily, of course, cheating would never cross my mind. But there's too much at stake. I need to get into the museum. So, business as usual. I'll take a look around and come up with a plan. I need to tip the long jump in Glenn's favor. Funny, I honestly never expected a Tibetan rescue mission to involve rigging the Olympic Games. Still, silver linings and all that. Just to be on the safe side, I'll slip back into my photographer disguise. Believe me, I wouldn't glue Argali fur to my face unless it was absolutely necessary. Or unless I was drunk.
The decathlon event is now nearing its finale. We'll be watching the remaining 4 athletes compete for the gold in the last leg of the contest, the long jump. The next jumper is Sander Molnar from Hungary. He is in 4th place after the previous contest. The jump is valid, but will it be enough for the Hungarian to edge ahead in the rankings?
Seven, 5.
7 meters and 5 centimeters.
7 meters and 5 centimeters. A great jump by Sander Molnar. We'll know in a few minutes if it's enough to earn him a place on the podium. The 3 leading athletes will now make their final jumps. First comes Lauri Askela of Finland, then the German Owen Huber, and finally Glenn Parker of Great Britain.
I don't have much time left to help Glenn. This cable powers the lights and things out on the track. That's a lot of people. That guy with the tash looks familiar. The judge records the distance and relays it to the stadium announcer. This measuring tape is used to measure the distance of the long jump from the takeoff point to the nearest sand imprint. I'd better not talk to him. I really don't need the attention right now. I shouldn't do anything to blow my cover.
Hey, you there. The press isn't allowed in this area. You're disrupting the athletes' concentration. Please go back to the press area bordering the stands.
Sorry, won't happen again. This is the run-up track the long jumpers use. I'd better keep a distance. The jump's invalid if the jumper steps over the takeoff board. As they say, a jumper with a perfect takeoff is already halfway to victory. The judge decides whether or not a jump is valid. He shows the white flag for a good takeoff. Then he takes that measuring tape, attaches it to the bolt next to the takeoff line, and measures the distance to the nearest imprint in the sand. Dried flowers. The layout of the stadium. As we've already established, of course, I'm an expert orienteer, so I won't be needing this. The sign says, equipment room. The lamp's seen better days. It's flickering and sparking. Looks like it would give me a nasty shock. There's a pair of old trainers under the bench. Nothing I can do with a pair of smelly trainers. The shoelaces, on the other hand, look absolutely essential. What would a locker room be without lockers? Just a room, I suppose. They're all locked. They're all locked. It's a poster advertising the Olympic torch relay. The games have started, so my guess is this is a little out of date. Metal coat hooks. This hook here seems to be loose. Got it. Damn, it's getting late. I need to get on with whatever the hell it is I think I'm doing here. A used towel. A sweaty blue jersey. Sweaty sports clothes. No thanks. Filthy. I'm not touching it. Might as well be eyeing up women back at Shen's. A A ventilation grate. I can see a weak light on the other side. It's screwed on tight. A brass coat hook. It's slightly bent and has a ball-shaped end. As striking features go, I'll admit I'm clutching at straws. Just needed a bit of leverage, that's all. The grate's off. It's locked. Ah, it's the equipment room. More lockers. They're all locked. It reads, Certified Measurement Devices, calibrated by the IOC 1936, only for use by authorized personnel. A whole load of sporting equipment and measuring devices. Stopwatches, batons, several table tennis balls, and a measuring tape. I can't see much, but it looks like a full house out there. Starting blocks for the track races. I'd much rather leave them here. The door outside's locked. High jump mats. Time for a nap? Maybe later. Two javelins and some hammer throwing and shot put equipment. The shelf's feet are screwed to the floor. That's some heavy duty storage. It's a metal plate screwed into the side of the locker. With my fingers? Really? I mean, that never works, does it? If I can loosen the metal plate, maybe I can open this left-hand locker. I'll need to attack the screws though, and the coat hook's got a rounded end. Some dumbbells, 5 kilos. I'll just take one of these with me. The balls for the hammer throwers are hanging on a cable. The others must be for the shot put. I dabbled in athletics when I was at the academy. I remember all too well how heavy these things are. You'll understand if I don't fancy carrying them around with me. The shelf's metal base is screwed tightly to the floor. I can't use the coat hook to loosen the screws yet. Maybe leaving it here will help. Somehow. Okay, it's all tied up. Okay, I'll untie the coat hook. I can't use the coat hook to... Okay. Time to get to work. It worked. The end's now flattened out. Now that it's flat, this makes for a pretty decent screwdriver. Let's get this panel loose. Ta-da! I present to you the inside of a locker. Looks like a judge's uniform. Swish. A judge's uniform. A measuring tape. Could be useful. I'm going to need a better disguise. I can help Glenn better if I'm dressed as an official judge.
Lauri Askela is preparing for his jump. After 9 out of 10 contests, the Finnish athlete holds 3rd place in the decathlon. We'd like to ask for silence now, please. Askela's jump is valid as well. Now we're anxious to know the distance.
7:25, 7 meters and 25 centimeters.
We've just been informed of the distance. 7 meters and 25 centimeters. A sensational jump by the exceptional Finnish athlete. Can Erwin Huber and Glenn Parker keep up? There's a palpable atmosphere of suspense here in the stadium. In the overall rankings, Erwin Huber is in 2nd place, just behind Glenn Parker of Great Britain. Given that the long jump is his forte, the German athlete now has a very strong chance of reaching for gold. Just a few more moments, and we'll know who will win the 1936 Olympic decathlon.
It really is about time I did something clever. Or at least vindictive. This is the run-up track the long jumpers use. The judge records the distance and relays it to the stadium announcer. I'd better not talk to him. I really don't need the attention right now. I'd say there's a fair chance the judges would want an explanation for why I need their measuring tape. I'm not entirely sure I've got one. I can use the sharp edge to cut the measuring tape and then alter it. Won't be long before Glenn discovers his inner champion.
Swapping the measuring tapes is a good idea. Altering the measurements could secure Glenn's victory, but it'd be pretty obvious that someone's playing silly buggers, because the first piece is missing. You know, the piece the judge looks at? I cut this off the measuring tape. It's exactly 1 meter long. This is the run-up track the long jumpers use. I'd better keep a distance. I cut exactly 1 meter off the measuring tape. Swapping the measuring tapes is a good idea. Altering the measurements could secure Glenn's victory, but it'd be pretty obvious that someone's playing silly buggers, because the first piece is missing. You know, the piece the judge looks at? These cables are hooked up to the lights and the microphone out in the stadium. These cables are hooked up to the... I should stay here and... The equipment... Looks... The lamp's seen better days. It's flickering and sparking. I cut this off the measuring tape. I already tried that. The X... I'm sure no one will miss these. Table tennis balls. A bottle of cleaner. A bottle of cleaner? Not that I'm about to pay any heed to what a bottle tells me to do. but it says, removes even the most stubborn stains. Warning, do not use on plastic surfaces. Contains the solvent acetone. An empty torch bracket. Nothing to do. The cleaner contains acetone. According to the label, this solvent shouldn't come into contact with plastics. My destructive tendencies are encouraging me to do precisely that. Hence, the table tennis balls. But if it melts plastic, I can only imagine what it does to human skin. I need a container of some kind. The bin looks pretty sturdy. Should be a good container for my little experiment. Wish I could say this was the first time I've done something like this. The solvent's dissolving the balls. All that's left is a sticky mush and a fierce stench. Smells a bit like thorn apple. I don't need that stuff all over my hands. I might be able to use this goo to glue the measuring tape back together. I'll dip the loose end in there. I dipped the cut end into the goo. I sense... yes, I rather sense a plan taking shape. I'll cut another 25 centimeters off the 1 meter piece. That's the exact length Glenn needs to beat his competitor's best distance. Perfect. I'll glue the shortened piece back onto the original roll. Job done. I made a good job of it. The tape's short by a whole 25 centimeters. I'm sure they don't check these things that carefully. Okay, I've got the rigged measuring tape ready, but to make this work, I've got to smuggle it into the long jump area somehow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching the grand finale of the Olympic decathlon. In just a few moments, Erwin Huber of Germany will step up to compete. I'd like to ask for quiet from the stands so that the athletes can concentrate. An excellent effort. That was quite a jump. Could Erwin Huber have beaten his own record?
750, 7 meters and 50 centimeters.
7 meters and 50 centimeters. Fantastic! Erwin Huber has topped his own personal best. This will make it very, very difficult for Glenn Parker to defend his lead in the overall standings. Parker is heading to the track. In just a few minutes, his performance in the long jump will determine the gold medal decathlon winner.
I'm really running out of time here. I've got to swap the tape, but I'll struggle as long as those two judges are still standing over it. This cable powers the lights. This cable powers the lights and things out on the track. I could switch the measuring tapes, but I wonder if the judges might have something to say about that. Nice idea. If I cut the power to the long jump area, maybe I'll have a chance to switch the measuring tapes. But I shouldn't be anywhere near the scene of the crime when the lights go out. Maybe I can find a way to give myself enough time to scarper. Nothing to do. An empty torch bracket. Sparks set the flowers alight. Good plan, Fenton. The fire gradually burns through the cables, then the lights on the long jump area go out, interrupting the event, and I'm long gone before anyone realizes what's happened. Let's be honest, that's the best bit. Let's get out of here.
Berlin is holding its collective breath. The final decision in the decathlon is rapidly approaching. Glenn Parker is warming up on the track for his decisive jump. I'd like to ask the spectators in the stands to remain quiet because... One moment. We seem to be experiencing technical difficulties in the long jump area.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
What's wrong?
What do you think is wrong? There's a complete power failure in this part of the stadium. Must be another problem with the cables. I'll go check. Come with me. I might need your help.
Shouldn't the technician take care of it?
Sure, in about 3 hours' time. We can't put the Olympic Games on hold. Can you keep an eye on things while we try to fix the problem?
But of course. Just leave everything in my capable hands.
I've just been told that we're doing everything possible to fix the problem. Thank you for your patience. I'm sure the long jump contest will resume shortly.
The perfect time to swap the tapes.
Ladies and gentlemen, our technical problems have been solved. The judges are returning to their seats, and we can continue. The big question, though, is will the interruption have put Glenn Parker off his stride? I see that he's returning to his starting position. Any minute now, he'll be making his decisive jump. The jump is valid. But was it far enough? From here, it doesn't seem like he came anywhere near Erwin Huber. But what do the measurements say?
7:35.
7 meters and 35 centimeters.
7 meters and 35 centimeters! That puts him just behind Erwin Huber in this final event, but it's just enough for Glenn Parker of Great Britain to take the gold medal. His lead may have been minuscule, but that's a minor detail. Glenn Parker has won the 1936 Olympic decathlon. Erwin Huber will have to be satisfied with silver, and Lauri Askela of Finland has earned bronze. And that, ladies and gentlemen, marks the end of this year's decathlon.
I hope history will forgive me. I mean, I may have betrayed the centuries-old Olympic spirit and cheated a man out of his gold medal. But come on. I am here saving the world, so I'll finally be able to get into the museum. Countess von Hagenhill had better be there with what I need. Glenn had better have a spare dinner jacket as well.
Cheers, Glenn. I really owe you one.
No problem. Sure you don't fancy a drink to celebrate?
Believe you me, once I'm done on this job, I'll be holding a liquid celebration for a solid week. For now, I just need to find a way down into the lower levels.
Then I won't keep you. Maybe I'll see you at the next Sandhurst reunion.
Sure, if I get an invitation this year. What is it about smuggling they have such an issue with?
Heaven knows. Well, good luck with your search for Richard. It was great to see you again, Fenton.
Thanks, Glenn. You take care.
It's the gold medalist reception. Glenn's in there. Let's pray no one ever realizes he really shouldn't be. The sign reads, "No entry for visitors." A heavy door. Looks like a small cupboard. Well, no, it's definitely a small cupboard. I mean, just look at it. It's cupboard-shaped and small. No way. Can't you see that very official-looking cordon? I can't get there. I'll just take the red... No, what the hell. I'll take the whole bloody thing with me. Why not? That was close. What is wrong with these people and their bladders? I really don't need one of the guests to notice me rooting around in here. They didn't take much notice, but next time could be different. I should leave the doors alone until I got some privacy. A bottle of champagne and a glass. If the plonk were cheaper, it'd be the spit of my bedside table. An open bottle of champagne, mostly full, which is the best kind of open bottle. A champagne glass. It's the cloakroom. This scarf could prove useful at some point. Ooh, almost got caught there. It's the gold medal lens in there. Perhaps a little too la-di-da for my tastes. Besides, I am supposed to be finding a way downstairs. The guy in the foyer said that whole area was off limits. I'd bet my old Ford, if I still had it, that that's where the Countess is hiding the eye and the map. These people need to learn how to hold their bladders. We used to go 48 hours with our legs crossed in intensive training. Let's just close this whole area off. This display case contains equipment from an expedition to Tibet, led by a certain Ernst Schaefer 2 years ago. A small movie camera and a few bits of clothing, along with some climbing equipment. The lid's closed, but I can't see a lock. It's a painting of the Himalayas. A monastery in the Tibetan mountains. No, not that monastery. Yak on a mountainside. What an appropriate title. It's summer. No one really needs a beautiful scarf like this. The cupboard door is locked. Looks like a small cupboard. Well, no, it's definitely a small cupboard. I mean, just look at it. It's cupboard-shaped and small. A map of Tibet. Ernst Schaefer drew it by hand during his expedition there. But the party's just getting started. Oh, and yes, I am supposed to be saving the world. There's a champagne cork in this glass. I'll have that, shall I? Collecting champagne corks isn't one of my hobbies, but I'll hold on to the little wire cap. It's the wire cork cap from the champagne. Nothing could be simpler. An empty crystal glass. The cork's firmly back in the bottle. Looks like a small cupboard. I could probably use this to pick the lock, if there was a lock on the case to pick, which, if you hadn't worked it out already, there isn't. The lid's closed. This display case contains equipment from an expedition, a small movie camera. The lid's closed. A meter of the finest cashmere wool. Surprise. It's locked. A heavy door. It's the wire cork cap from the champagne. It's a pretty basic lock. I should be able to get it open. I picked the lock on the cupboard door. I picked the lock on the cupboard door. This cupboard is full of cleaning supplies. I'll take a mop and... yes, why not? A jar of hydrochloric acid. Your typical mop. This jar contains hydrochloric acid. Powerful stuff. They probably use it on the tiles. Hydrochloric acid reacts pretty violently with metal, but I don't think glass and wood will dissolve at all. A heavy door. The acid's eating through the lock.
I have been searching these exhibits for over 3 hours. Where's the Piri-Reis map?
As I told you, Countess, most of your research material was moved to Wewelsburg Castle last week.
I am personally affronted that you would exploit my absence in this way. You will regret this, Schauberger.
Maintain your composure, Countess. This decision was out of my hands. My research could be conducted at any of a number of sites throughout the country, and to be honest, I was far from thrilled about being moved to a laboratory in the center of the city.
The fact that I was not informed of this move remains absolutely unacceptable. Who gave the order?
It came from the very top, from the minister himself, or so I've heard.
The minister?
Are you surprised? I heard that some of your so-called brothers of the Order carry a great deal of weight with the minister, and they convinced him to move your research to the castle.
You should know that I am by no means a member of the Thule Society. They merely pay me for my scientific expertise.
Whatever you say. In any case, your mysticism-loving friends apparently decided that this museum was no longer a suitable location for their club, and they presented the castle near Paderborn to the minister as a fitting alternative. He was so taken with the idea that the move was made immediately. Your exhibit items and documents were packed up and taken directly to Wewelsburg Castle. In return, my employees and I were forced to move from the pastoral Brandenburg countryside to the city so that the military command can keep a closer eye on our work.
How unfortunate. But the fact remains that one of the exhibit items, the Piri-Reis map, is absolutely vital to my research. I shall go to the ministry to resolve the issue in person before setting out immediately for Paderborn. You there, battalion leader.
Yes, Frau Countess.
Guard this bag until I return from the ministry. Its contents are extremely valuable. If necessary, you are to defend it with your life. Do I make myself clear?
Jawohl, Frau Countess.
That's got to be the Eye of the Dragon. Sounds like the Piri-Reis map, however, is now in some castle near Paderborn.
Countess von Hagenhild is gone. We can begin the test. All displays check out. Let's get started. Please set the power to the lowest level. We don't want things flying around the room. I am now activating the drive impulse. It would be best to hold on to something. So far, so good. Please cut the power supply now. Excellent. My friend, our new aircraft will soon make history. Let's check the conduits. Even the smallest leak during our next test could ruin everything.
Okay, this is my chance. I need to get my hands on the eye. I need to get to the eye, but as long as those two scientists and that soldier are milling around, I can't get anywhere near it. I can't... There's a lever on this console that controls the turbine's power supply. It's long enough, but it can't hook the lever. Your typical... If I understand correctly, this machine is some kind of aircraft engine, when I think about the Nazis flying planes with engines like that at some point. Jesus, but that's not my problem. I've got to get the eye and find the Piri-Reis map. Hey, look. A big red button. That must start the engine once the power levels have been set. A red metal box. Damn, the handle was loose. It broke off. Your typical mop. A thin... I'd better not climb down. I'll be seen for sure. Sturdy enough. It's long enough, but it can't hook the lever. I'll shove the handle between the lid and the frame of the display case, give it a little jerk, and... Open sesame. This display case contains equipment from an expedition to Tibet. Led a small movie camera. I'll just borrow a piton from the mountain climbing equipment. The movie camera looks like junk. And I'm not too keen on owning a pair of Ernst Schaefer's old woolen socks either. A piton from some ancient mountain climbing equipment. It's worth a try. Tying the scarf to the piton may open up brand new avenues of adventure.
I tied the piton to the scarp. It won't reach the lever on the console. I'll use the scarf to tie the piton to the mop handle. If I'm careful, I should be able to use this to move the lever upwards without anyone noticing. Low setting or maximum power? I think I'm more a maximum power kind of guy. When I was a kid, I used to practice this at my parents' New Year's parties. Just give it a good shake, and then aim it like a K-98 rifle.
What's happening? Hold on to something!
What's going on out there?
You know, sometimes I can be really mean. Is the urge to laugh maniacally a bad sign? The bad guys aren't a problem anymore, but the air current is. Over the railing without securing myself first, I'll end up like those guys there. I can't open it without the handle. I'll stick the handle back into the door. Hope it'll still open. Bingo. Oh, it's just a fire hose. I was kind of hoping it'd be the Pyrenees map or something. I'll tie the loose end to the railing. I spy with my little eye That's the bag. That's the bag. I'll take the eye and get the hell out of Berlin. I can use the fire hose again to get back into the museum. Then I'll have to travel to this Wewelsburg castle. Without the Piri-Reis map, the Eye of the Dragon is worthless. The map's the only way to find the second key to the gate to Shambhala.
What is it, Huxley?
Well, sir, a certain Mr. Kleist would like to speak with you. He showed up unannounced and is somewhat overbearing. Shall I send him away?
No, certainly not. Send him in.
You may stay seated, Governor. I have no wish to take up too much of your valuable time.
Then what is it I can do for you?
You have already done something for me. No additional soldiers were sent to Tibet.
Those were your conditions.
Indeed. But it seems that perhaps I need to explain those conditions a little more clearly. There was to be no interference from your side at all.
I don't understand.
Haddock, was it really necessary to set your dog on us? Does your son mean so little to you, Governor?
You promised to give me some sign that he's still alive.
All in good time. Pray instead that we can eliminate Paddock quickly. And I'm warning you for the last time. Stay out of this. Have a pleasant evening, sir.
Is there anything I can do for you, Governor?
I severely doubt it, Huxley.
Pardon me for asking, sir, but who was that gentleman?
That, Huxley, was the devil's emissary. And I find myself involved with him.
How am I to understand that, sir?
It is probably best that you don't, Huxley. Just hope, as I do, that Fenton's mission will be a success. It may be all we have left.
Ah, what a very pleasant journey. A bite to eat in the restaurant car, a few bottles of Bavarian beer, and a good snooze.
I need to get to Wavelsberg Castle as quickly as possible. I've still got a head start over the Countess, but I'll need it to find the Piri-Reis map before she gets here. The station guard must know the way. Good evening. Excuse me.
Good evening, sir. What brings you here so late in the day?
I'm a tourist, and rather than go to the Olympic Games or visit one of Germany's many outstanding cities with their bars and restaurants and women, I decided to visit the famous Wavelsberg Castle instead. I'm beginning to wonder why, but I'm stuck here now. Do you know the quickest way to get there?
I'm very sorry, sir. Wavelsberg Castle is closed to visitors right now.
You're kidding. No, you're really not, are you? I've endured quite a ride just to come see this bloody thing.
Oh, what a shame. But the castle has been under military control for some weeks now, sir. All of the access routes have been sealed off, and the guards are patrolling the castle surroundings.
Why exactly is that?
I find it better not to ask. Besides, I was only posted to this station a month ago.
This is stupid. What do I do now?
Well, you are not the first person to drop by wanting to visit the castle in the last couple of days. I'd advise you to wait for the next train. There's one going to Paderborn in 2 hours. I'm afraid there's not much you can do here to kill the time. The station building is closed due to renovations, hence why I am standing outside in this awful weather. You could, of course, take a walk to Brünn. It's not far away. There's a road leading directly into town from this crossroad. The guest house at the market should be open. You could warm up a bit and wait for the train there.
You know, I think I'll just enjoy some fresh air after the long train journey, even if it is raining cats and dogs. Is it okay if I wait here?
Of course, sir.
Thanks.
Damn, now what? The castle's right there. There's got to be another way in. That's a handcar. They use it to travel up and down the tracks to change signals and whatnot. Must be a hard job. At least it looks like a downhill start.
one of the train's rear lanterns. An old carriage sitting on the siding. Some facts on local history. According to this, the castle was built in the 11th century. The text refers to many renovations and extensions, as well as changes in ownership. Hang on a minute. This could be interesting. The mountain under the castle has an old tunnel system. Ore was mined there from the 18th century onwards. The lords of the castle used the passages of the mines as a hiding place or escape route during times of siege. However, the tunnels were closed down just before the war. That means there was once a connection between the mine and the castle. Maybe it still exists. It's a fizzy sweet dispenser. I need a coin. Wewelsburg Castle has its own station, but visitors are no longer allowed to visit the castle. This place should look more closely at the needs of its tourists. Wewelsburg Castle has its own station, but if it doesn't stop raining, this barrel is going to overflow. My hands aren't dirty. An axe. The station guard won't be happy if I remove his firefighting equipment. Wewelsburg Castle. There's a thin steel cable hanging here. Wewelsburg Castle has its own... Could come in handy. It's screwed securely to the carriage.